Hey, what's going on, guys? Today's lesson is going to be pretty quick. I'm going to be talking about a tip to help you not sound so much like a beginner. So just watch to the end. You might benefit from it. Even if you're not a beginner, you might make the same mistake. I just want to correct it for you guys and talk about it a little bit. Let's go. All right, guys, so quickly, I'll be going more in depth with this at a later date, but I wanted to just cover this one specific thing that I see happening all the time. So what I'm talking about, the mistake that I'm talking about, is the finger placement inside of the frets. Okay, so maybe you've been taught before, maybe you've seen players or other bass players say that your fingers need to be inside of the fret, right? Right inside of the fret, right in the middle of both of these frets, right? But that's not technically true. It doesn't need to be right in the center. All right. What I found to me what the sweet spot is maybe right before the next fret. So say if you're playing the third fret or the fourth fret, doesn't matter. Well, let's use the third fret. So say if you're using the third fret, I don't know if you can see my hand that well or that finger. So if you're using the third fret, what I would do is I play a little bit closer to the end of that fret. All right. I'll play a little bit closer. That's my sweet spot right there. So because this is the one thing that I noticed, because if you go too far to the, well, it's my left, it's probably your right, but to the right, you get that buzzing sound. And I hear a lot of beginners playing like that because they don't know exactly where to put their fingers at, or they try to play it exactly in the middle and maybe miss or kind of off a little bit. And it's very easy to get off on that note, to play the actual B when you're trying to play a C. Because if you play right on that fret before, that's a B. See what I mean? I'm playing right on top of that fret, but I'm playing a B. So just make sure you're closer to the edge of the fret, going higher in pitch, right? Down the fretboard, this way, right? People always correct me when I say down, but when I mean down, I mean like down this way. Because my bass is always pointed up, so I always say down in this direction. But anyway, but up in pitch, okay? So, closest to that. And trust me, you'll see a difference with that tone, because you don't want that buzzing type of, I mean, that's just crazy. It irks me now. Okay, but I see a lot of beginners making that mistake. So just practice when you're playing in a scale or anything, doesn't matter. Just make sure you're playing right before that fret. You see what I'm saying? My fingers are not exactly right in the center, but they're like right before the next metal fret. Doesn't matter what I'm playing. B flat, I'm closer to the edge of the fret, right? So just keep that in mind. There's some practices, the same thing. There's another practice, actually a speed practice, just a chromatic practice that you can work on that actually will help you with this positioning. If you haven't seen it yet, it's just called increasing your speed or something like that. I'll put it up here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But there's a very simple chromatic exercise. I mean, very simple. You don't really have to think too much about it. That's why I like to use that one. All right. So you're just focusing on where your fingers land versus what note you're playing. All right. So that's not so much important as for this exercise particularly, but just making sure where your fingers land is the most important part. So you get that tone. And if you hear that tone mess up, if you hear that, make sure you go back and start from the beginning. All right, try to get it as clean as possible. Like I always say, if you've been following me for any length of time, you know I always say at the end of every single lesson, make sure your notes are coming out clean, clear, and precise. I can't stress that enough, because if I can't hear what you're playing, I can't play back what you're playing. All right, so if it's too sloppy, it's too messy, I can't hear it, and it's not going to be that valuable. It's not going to be that impactful. It's not going to have that much of a punch to it. Okay, so I need to hear what you're playing. I need to hear every single note. And just that one tip, I know it seems small, but some of the smallest tips and the things that you can change can increase your playing tremendously, can make that one little difference, can increase your playing and just take it to the next level. You'll be surprised what it can do. So try some of these exercises, even the exercises that I have out now, just look back on them. I won't go too much into it now just for time's sake, but look back on the exercises that I've done. anything, doesn't matter. Just be conscious of your finger placement, of where it is and where it's landing. So that's it, guys. Make sure your notes are coming out clean, clear, and precise. Like I always say, take it slow, and I'll see you next time.